this is Blue Squirrel Girl, and welcome to MTG Chronicles. Guess what came to Magic this weekend is Doctor Who. And I was able to get my hands on 8 collector boosters, so that's what we're going to be opening today. And I got to tell you, I've been a lifelong Doctor Who fan, and so has Earl. Look at that nice little scarf we got I knitted for him. So he's all excited about this too. But before we get started, I want to discuss one thing, and that's this is not going to be a video about whether or not Doctor Who or Lord of the Rings or Warhammer belongs in Magic. These videos are all about the joy of Magic. And for me, Doctor Who, I enjoy. So I always loved science fiction when I was growing up, and there was a plethora of science fiction shows. Considering it was about another 7 years before cable actually came to people's houses. There was The Twilight Zone, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, to name a few. Let's see if you can see that well. There you go. I watched every single one of those shows. But there were definitely people who had their fan favorite. And for me, it was Doctor Who. I really like the idea of exploring new places and, the standard science fiction dystopian social commentary that you got from Doctor Who. But what really connected me was that I could envision myself as one of the companions, especially since many of the companions were women, like right here, like Leela, and a very strong woman. There's always been some commentary around Doctor Who that the women were just there to scream at the monsters for dramatic effect. Ooh, look at that surge foil. Isn't that cool? But, the first companion I ever was introduced to was Sarah Jane Smith. So hopefully we'll see her. And she was in the Fourth Doctor era. And I actually thought she was actually quite inquisitive and really a strong persona. I really like this card. And that meant a lot to me. Oh my God, a Fourth Doctor serialized card. Look at that. I am grading that. I am grading that. Rock on. Okay. That is my hit for today. Holy cow, that was great. So we'll go on to the next one. I'm not sure we can get anything better than that. Anyway, to be one of to imagine yourself as one of those female companions meant a lot to me when I was growing up because I could really feel like I belonged there. I belonged in the field of science fiction, or I belonged in the field of science. I belonged in the field of math. I belonged in the field of exploration. And the reason that was kind of important to me is that there were many classes when I was in college that I was the only person there. A good one that I remember is in my astrodynamics class. I was actually the only female in there. But as I got older and when the male to female ratio got a little better when I started working in some of the commercial aerospace industry. But you know what? Back then, Magic wasn't any different. There were very few women that played. By the way, somebody was asking me once on Amy why she was partnered with Rory, and if you're not familiar with Doctor Who, they're actually married. That's why they're partners. So anyway, Magic wasn't any different. There were very few women that played, like I said. I mean, I went to nationals in 2003, and out of 200 plus players, I was the only female in that entire tournament. So I can tell you now that I'm glad to see that there's at least a little more diversity and a little more inclusiveness and how welcoming that Magic community is to all people. So I kind of wanted to have, well, this is weird. Oh, that was the wrong booster. So I wanted to kind of have this video as a shout out to all the women that are out there who kind of feel a little bit out of place, whether they're doing engineering, whether they're doing science, whether they're doing something where they feel it's a little bit dominated by men. You are awesome. You are welcome and you belong wherever your heart is. And you know what? If it's magic and Doctor Who, I would love to hear your story in the comments below. So please do join our Discord, like and subscribe, and enjoy your Doctor Who. And now I'm just going to do some random commentary. That is cool. I like River of Tears. Now, this is one of my favorite shows was The Flood of Mars. I really liked, again, I said I like dystopian commentary, and this was the dystopian commentary they had on that one, which was cool. And I need another thought vessel, so I'm pretty happy about that. And this, the first Doctor being black and white, was actually homage to the fact that those first episodes were black and white. And in fact, they were black and white all the way through the third Doctor. See if we got a couple more here for you. And then I think everybody knows, but you can find the TARDIS in all the lands. The 11th Doctor, that season, I'm going to tell you, if you know Stephen Moffat, he was great as a story writer, but as a showrunner, he just made everything extremely wild and confusing. And actually, I didn't have a lot of fun because he reset everything. He just made everything timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, I should say. I liked much more straightforward. Oh, beautiful, this farewell. This was a very good episode as well. And he says, I don't want to go. And if you ever watch a 10th Doctor show, you should watch Silence in the Library with Avashta Narada. It was actually pretty creepy. And I have a wedding ring. There's another great hit. Can you see that? Nice. And then all of history all at once. And we have the fifth Doctor. If you asked me what my favorite Doctors were, they were actually the fifth and the 10th. And even though a lot of people like fourth Doctor, I really like the fifth Doctor because I felt he added a lot more humanity and he wasn't perfect, especially when Adric died. You really got a sense of the Doctor, well, had kind of a heart and was vulnerable. That's why I really liked him. Okay. Another nice Surge foil land. The seventh Doctor, I actually met him in person, and I have a picture of me sitting on his lap somewhere. That was when I was younger. So, psychic paper. This one's really interesting because this was a tool they started using in the newer Doctor Who's that didn't exist before, but I love how it gets him in a lot of places he could never get into otherwise. And Ian Chesterton is one of the first Doctor's companions, and I really wish they would have done more of the older Doctor Who stuff on the cards, but I understand why they didn't. And a lot of it was just because, well, not a lot of people grew up with the old Doctor. A lot of them grew up with the newer Doctors, but they at least did some homage to it, which I appreciate, even if it was limited to the sagas or the companions. So, and I'm sure a lot of people who play Magic aren't anywhere near as old as I am or haven't watched these things when they first came out. Oh, there's the third Doctor. His was actually interesting shows. They did, even though I started watching the fourth Doctor came to PBS when I was about 7 or 8, and they started with the fourth Doctor, but along the way they started getting the third Doctor shows, and it was pretty interesting because he was stuck on Earth. Um, but I enjoyed him because he had a lot of, I think it was jujitsu that he used a lot during that. Dark water charcoals. Quantum misalignment. I really was excited to see Jodie Whittaker as a doctor, but I was also disappointed that they didn't do as much with her character. I thought they had one or two good episodes, especially the Indian Palestine. I'm sorry, the Indian Pakistani conflict. I thought that was a really good episode, and I really enjoyed that one. But again, I like I said before, definitely into the social dystopia. I'm sorry, this social commentary that for dystopian science fiction. And what was one of my other boosters? I had to get the sleeves off those. Another doctor, creeping tar pit. Ace was awesome. If you ever go back, some of the you'll have to laugh if you watch the old ones. Boy, the graphics were bad. The special effects were really bad. But if you could appreciate the characters, it was definitely fun. There's River Song. I still not sure what I think of River Song, even though a lot of people like her. Is that one of the surge foils? Yes, it is. Sometimes these surge foils, you just got to get in the right light and they look beautiful. But you got to make sure you get them in the right light. And this is another one. Like I said, I really like the social commentary ones. The first episode of this with the flesh duplicates on it was really cool. Really liked it. The rest of the episode was really, if you ask me, it was really dumb. Uh, so, but, and I'm sure other people liked it, but I thought it was really dumb. All right, last pack. Let's see what we get. We get a planes. I can't wait to. I'm hoping that there's a lot of these on sale because I'm going to bling out my normal commander decks with these. Now, out of all the shows I've seen through the third Doctor all the way to the Jodie Whittaker. And the only episodes I've never seen is I never seen any second Doctor episode, and I've never seen any first Doctor episode. And I even watched the Paul McGann movie, Doctor Who movie, which was actually terrible. So I'm glad they redeemed him in the new Doctor Who series. And Edric. I liked Edric, although he was a pain in the ass a lot of times if you've ever watched those shows. Ooh, look at how beautiful that blasphemous act is. Isn't that beautiful? And then another fourth doctor, and one of m- the newest master. And this guy did a great job acting as the master. I've actually liked almost all the people they've had acting as the master all the way through. I thought Missy was great. I thought he was great. So that looks like that is all I have. And I want to repeat again for those women out there who feel a little bit out of place, in magic with Doctor Who, you are awesome. So does Earl. Earl says, you are awesome and you belong where your heart is. So if it's magic or Doctor Who, I would love to hear your story in the comments below. So please join our Discord, like and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.